Hello everyone, welcome back to Dr. Quack's House Calls. I'm Dr. Quack, and today we're going to go into a different realm of the world. We're going to be talking about the promo world. We're going to be talking about things you should do and should not do. Because I'm going to tell you, there are tens of thousands of people that are involved in the promo world, and probably thousands of feds. There's feds all over the internet. You can definitely find if it's something you're interested in. This is a video to tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Because there's a lot of different things. The promo world is based off professional wrestling. Because it's a lot of guys that were either professional wrestlers like myself, or they were never given the opportunity for whatever reason to become a professional wrestler, so they went with this. Because it's fun. There's a lot of great things about it. I mean, you can win championships. You can win real titles. You get to meet a lot of different people. You get to act out your character, which is always fun. You get to come out there and you can be anybody you want to be on screen. And you will notice a lot of people are not that person on screen. They're totally different when they're outside of it. But there's a lot of good things about the promo world, you know, that you get to do. I mean, and there's things these are qualities that I think you should really learn when it comes to being a promo artist, okay, or an e-fedder, however you want to call it. Some people like one term or the other. But one, like I'm doing right now, you cannot be afraid of speaking on camera. You can't. You have to be able to go out there and talk, you know. Some people, they like the vignette style promo. That's pretty much where it's pre-recorded. You put it out on screen and people react to it. There's a lot of pages. You can find them all over Facebook as well. I will tell you, as a man who was a promo artist, you have to be creative. You have to be able to think on your feet, and you have to be able to tell a story. It helps. Because if you're just coming out here and talking shit all day, you know, and you don't have anything really creative except maybe cussing, you know, saying fuck, you know, that's not going to help your cause. It just doesn't work out that well when you do that. So you want to have a good vocabulary. You might even want to pick up a thesaurus. There is nothing wrong with learning. Trust me, you're going to need it, especially when you're trying to come up with words besides, you know, the, and as is, and if you will, and all that. You actually need to come up with a good product. You know, look at your character. You want to base your words on your character. Because if you don't, it looks foolish. You know, if you're trying to talk like a badass, and your character doesn't come out looking like a badass, it's going to show. Okay? There's a lot of things that, you know, you have to be able to understand. Inflection in your voice, you know. It's like if I was selling a car, I'd be like, hey man, you want to buy a car? And I just did that, you know. Hey, how you doing? You want to buy a car? Here, check this out. I got all the great things and da-da-da-da. Notice the inflection. That's a big thing. A lot of good traits being a promo artist. A green screen. A green screen is helpful. It can be used. I'm not using a green screen right now, as you can tell. And it fits my character. You know, just like my shirt. See how everything matches, right? The combat veteran here. Dr. Quack. But see, that's what you got to do. You got to make sure your brand is on point, you know. You want to make sure that you are groomed properly. If you need to look rough, you want to look rough. If you need to look like a pretty boy, you might want to make sure your hair's combed and all that other stuff. You know, I don't suggest makeup. That's other people. Which makeup, people do put face paint on and things like that, depending on your character. You know, these are things that you have to develop. And there's a lot of other things that you're going to need as a promo artist. But I will tell you, and these are things that I picked up on early on, and I still think some people have not. You know, people that I know that are still involved. A, You don't have to work 15 promotions. You don't have to work them. You want to pick yourself out maybe 2 to 3. And that's dependent on your work schedule, your real life. There's a big saying that goes, real life comes first. And it does. Okay? It's something that definitely has to be done. You don't have to go promo in all these places at one point, try to be world champion in every promotion, unless you can do it. If you don't have much going on in your life, and this might be a primary thing to keep your mind off of it, sure. But even that, I'm going to tell you, it's going to burn out. This is supposed to be fun, they all tell me. This is supposed to be fun. But sometimes it can feel like a job. Because you not only want to win titles, you want to entertain, you want to make people actually laugh or feel an emotion. You want to do a lot of stuff. But you can burn yourself out very easily. I mean, that's why I would tell you 2 to 3 max. And if you're running a Fed, you really want to go 2. Just run a Fed and maybe 1 or 2. Because it's too much time consumption right there. And you don't have time for anything else. You start thinking about this 24/7. Another big thing that I want to point out. Stay out of the politics. Stay out of it. Believe me, there is a lot of times where politics can be played. You will see it all day long. People, trying to inch their way up just to win a title, because they can shit talk. There's some of that. So yeah, the best thing you can do is go in, do your stuff, and probably get out. I mean, I've asked a lot of people have told me, including what my thoughts are on it. The locker rooms can be a very toxic place. They can be really bad. And there's a lot of that, because most people want to build fellowship, friendship, and you'll build some friends through this. Trust me. You will, and you'll make some enemies. Inadvertently or maybe directly, you'll just go out there and piss people off. But you'll learn. You will. So, that's the best thing I can tell you. You don't have to stay completely quiet. But watch what you say. Watch who you talk to. Because not everybody is your friend. Some people will stab you square in the back. If you say something, then they'll go tell somebody else. Because just like that one song back in the day, everybody talks, babe. Everybody talks. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to it. I mean, if you're a promo artist, you're basically asked to come out and drop whatever hype requirement there is. Sometimes there's no hype, but it's good to drop a hype. Because you want to entertain people. You want to work the show. You want to work your opponent. And you cut your promo and you send it in to the person who's running the group. You do that. That's the 2 main requirements. Outside that, really, what else is there as a promo artist? And then you look at the opposite side of the spectrum, something I really want to cover. And that's called running a Fed. Running a promo Fed can be fun. It can be a lot of headache, too. Because you will always, like I said, have the drama. Inadvertently or advertently. Drama you want to keep on screen. On screen. But not everybody does it, do they? No, they don't. So, of course, management, being, promoter, president, owner, somebody who runs the locker room has got to deal with all that. And that's not fun. But there's a lot of things that go into running a Fed. Everybody wants to do promoter shit until it's time to do promoter shit. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of things here. I'm going to go over them. Things you should do as a promoter. A. Promote your product. Your product. Okay? If I'm running ABC Fed, I'm wanting to go out there and I want to share it all over the world. I want people to see it. I want people to come to my page. You know, I find other places to share it besides my own personal page. I find wrestling pages because promo wrestling is based off of pro wrestling. Yeah. You share it. You comment on your guys' stuff. You talk about how they did. If you see something they could work on, you talk to them. You could talk to them in your group. You could talk to them one-on-one. But you talk to them because the guys want to know that you actually care. Because if you don't, a lot of the guys are going to do what they want, run through the motions, and if they're having a bad week, they may just go, I'm not going to show up. And nobody likes a no-show. Nobody. A lot of big things you have to do. You have to set up things. You know, you want to use things like StreamYard. Some people, they go back to that classic, I'm going to post it on the Facebook page, and we're going to expect everybody to watch and see it. That doesn't happen very well. I mean, people in your group may have just been a part of your group and unfollowed it just because they didn't want to get tagged in. They'll check out when they feel like it. So your job there is to keep them engaged. Keep your promo artists engaged. Keep your fans engaged. Engagement. Comment on them. You know? Say what you liked. Say what you didn't like. You have to continue to build a story. You're setting the table. You know, another big thing that you got to do when you run a Fed is you got to go out there and you got to make sure that people know who you are. Because if they don't, they're not going to care. You know, you might have to go out and make announcements for your Fed on various things. You're going to have to go out there and do that. People want to know, got to know who you are. They don't want to think you're just Joe Snuffy out here talking on a screen. Everybody's like, who is that? I don't know who that is. Yeah, you got to be proactive. Proactive. There's a lot of things that people take advantage of and don't understand why things don't work. You know, a lot of people, and I've noticed this everywhere I've been, everywhere I've watched, there's always at least one person complaining about the judges. As I was told about this is a hobby. This is a hobby. We're supposed to have fun. Hobby. It's not a business. But yeah, people still complain. Oh, the judges don't like me. Oh, everybody else said I won. Obviously, the judges didn't. The judges did not. And that's okay. You know, I mean, judges have their opinions. They're not getting paid for it. They're doing this because they were asked to by a Fed. And they decided to say, yeah, I'll judge this match. I'll judge this show. And judges, if you judge this, because sometimes, some Feds, it's promo artists. Sometimes it's a third party. People that are not involved with the promotion that judge it. But either way, give notes. Give your explanation. Because the better your explanation is on why you went one way or the other, the easier it is for people to understand. That is something that is very important. They used to have back in the days the thumb system. Up, down. I want to go for this guy. I'm not going for this guy. And you would hear these crazy things like, oh, it was a close match, but it was a 3-0 victory. How close was it? It was a 2-1 victory. How close was it? So people made the point system so we could see, you know, where exactly how close it was. And yet people still complain. People still bitch. Judges hate me. And especially if you're a Fed where promo artists are judges? Imagine this, if you will. You're in one Fed, right? And you're getting ready to cut your promo. But you're also in another Fed. And let's say said judge is in that other Fed. And you start to run your mouth in the locker room, or you say something indirectly or directly jacked up. Guess what? That judge may have heard it. And then he's going to go watch your promo. Do you think there's going to be any bias on that? Do you think so? Because it's very well possible. If someone pissed me off, I would imagine I couldn't watch it clearly. You can't bitch about the judges. You know, stop that. That's where fun stops and drama starts. If you lose, you take it like a man or a woman, because there is women that promo here in the promo world. You take it on the chin, you say, yep, I took the L, I'll get them next time. And then there's one more thing I kind of want to talk about before I continue on here in my quest of my Dr. Quack house calls. If you're on a losing streak, let's say you're losing 3, 4, 5 matches, judges are not getting your gimmick. There's several things you should do. First, read the judge's notes. Read the judge's notes. And if you don't have judge's notes, you want to go to that promoter and say, hey, why did this judge go the other way? Can I see his notes? You don't have to agree with their notes. That's the thing. But you want to get their perspective. Okay? That's also important. There's also other things you have to do, and this is what I'm talking about. Evolution. You have to evolve. You can't cut the same promo in 5 different Feds in a week. If I see it in A, I know I'm going to see it in B, C, D, and E. Right? That's a big thing. So you need to make sure that you're varying it up. You need to switch it up a little bit. You need to evaluate yourself. Because if you're getting your butt kicked, you obviously need to change something. You know, and you could have close matches. There's a lot of tough guys and top guys in the promo world, and you may have lost 4 or 5 to some of those top guys. But if you're a guy that, you know, is constantly losing and you are getting upset about it, this is where you got to reevaluate. You got to go, okay, what can I do to get your attention? See how I did that right there? See, you pop in front of the screen. You want to grab the people. Grab the judges. These are a lot of things that I wanted to talk about because I get these even though I am out of the promo world. I am now retired. I am no longer doing it. But I still get people with these conversations that come to me. And I will tell you, here's my final bit of advice, folks. If you have a problem with something going on in the Fed you're working, talk to somebody in management. And if they're not listening to you, then maybe you've got a decision to make. You got to think, do I want to stay? Do I want to go? Can I put up with it? Can I deal with it? Can I not? So these are things you got to know. And if you're losing a lot, don't blame the judges. Don't blame the judges. Blame yourself. Because obviously you did not make that connection. And you need to. But that's all I got to say about that. On my next episode, you will see out here, I want to make a special dedication because it's coming up right there, September 11th, 2001. I'll see you then.